Hi everyone, my name is Heather Autumn and welcome to my channel. So today I'm in Revere, Massachusetts. It's sweltering. It's supposed to be around 98 degrees Fahrenheit for those of you who live in the States. I'm bringing you here to see the annual Sandcastle Festival, which is happening on this street. People from all over the world come and they build these amazing sand castles for us to see. It's a huge event. So you can see sandcastles are here, and then you have tons of food trucks and carnival rides and vendors, and it's just a lot of fun. So I'm gonna take you down the street and we're gonna spend a day at the beach. So this sculpture behind me is called Joker's Wild by Daly. And you can see it's like the Jokers from cards and they're all fighting each other. It's awesome. This sculpture behind me is made by Matsuki Yoshiko. This is called Play with Peace with an origami crane. And you can see really closely, you can see the symbol for love on there. This is a sculpture by Karen Frolich, and it's called Dinotopia. It has this very serious looking T-Rex. It is an amazing sculpture. I love it. It's really detailed. The sculpture behind me is called 8 p.m. by Björk Etma. And yeah, when I've had too much to drink, this is exactly what 8 p.m. looks like for me too. The sculpture behind me is called I Am Nature by Hanukke Supply. It features a very beautiful pregnant mermaid, and it also has that Fibonacci circle with the shells. It's really hard to do. This sculpture behind me by Morgan Rudolph, and it features a giant butterfly here, and then here it looks like a human being captured in a chrysalis. This sandcastle is based off of a classic American game called Monopoly, but they've renamed it to Damonopoly because the creator of the sculptor is Damon Mary. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, I did wear suntan lotion this time. That's why my face is super shiny and why my arms and everything are super shiny. So hopefully that works, but somehow I just believe that I will always get burned. This sculpture behind me is called The Three Sisters by Slovenia Broricki. I think I got that name right. But it has dictator, money, and fake, the three sisters. This sculpture behind me is from Deb Barrett Coulter, and it's called Sky Shadows, or S-K-I Shadow and then S separately. The sculpture behind me looks very Aztec-y. It's by an Albert Lucio Sr., and it features kind of an Aztec-ish looking goddish thing, and it is called Pride. Behind me is a sculpture from Greg Grandy Jr. It features the classic fortune-telling thing that you see on boardwalks, which is Zoltar, and he will tell you your future for a quarter. This dynamic sculpture behind me is called The Devil is an Angel Too, and it features a giant angel/devil sculpture. And I have to say, it's both terrifying and beautiful at the same time. This sculpture by Bruce Peck is called Anxiety's Strangle. And I have to say, as somebody who has anxiety, this is accurate. sculpture behind me is from Matt Diebert, and it's unnamed, but absolutely beautiful. And it's all made out of sand. Like, that's hard to believe that they could get sand to look like that. The piece behind me is called Cat5 Catastrophe, and it's from a Christy Atkinson. And as somebody who grew up and lived in Florida, I can absolutely tell you that Cat 5s are not to be played with. Those are references to how we grade hurricanes here in the US. And yeah, so if you're ever in Florida and they say there's a Cat 5 hurricane heading in your direction, you're gonna have a fun time. And the last sculpture on our list is by Yasso, and it's just a really delicious snack company which features frozen snacks, which I will absolutely be getting later. So it's not even 10 o'clock and already it's one of those running from shadow to shadow moments. So I'm in this beautiful pavilion and I can overlook the entire beach as well as the castles over at the other end. So from here you can see all of the different vendors they have. There is even a Ferris wheel that you can get on, which I'm tempted to go on, but the drink vendors are gonna make a lot of money today, for sure. It is literally sweltering. It is so hot and it's not even 10 o'clock. So I'm waiting in my little shelter tent for all of the shops and everything to open, and then we'll take another walk, look at some of the food vendors, maybe take a ride on the Ferris wheel, and then I'm hitting the ocean. Also, I'd like to inform you all of the legendary whiteness of my own legs. Reports have come in from the International Space Station that they can see me when I go to the beach based on how the sun reflects off of them. So yeah, hopefully I'll get maybe some sun down on my legs and not here. I think one of the best ways to show you guys how great Revere Beach is at the top of this Ferris wheel. Great views. So I want to give a shout out to Bindi and Ian, because without them I wouldn't have been able to go on the Ferris wheel. So thank you guys.
And without Heather, he might not have been able to go on the Ferris wheel because I didn't want to.
And I want to thank her for going with me.
And I didn't want to be up that high. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks, Heather.
Seriously, huge shout out to Bindi and Ian, because I wouldn't have been able to ride. They had a sign on there saying no single riders, but it was like right at the entrance, so I couldn't really see it when I bought my ticket. And so big thank you to them. I couldn't have gone without you guys. Thank you. So the smoothie that I got here was $15, but it was so worth it. It's so good. It looks really fancy. I passed a woman and she was sitting there and she was like, you know, when are you gonna get something like that ever again? And I was like, exactly. Okay, so I went to the dumpling food truck there that I featured, and I got a Thai tea and a lunchbox, and I'm gonna have lunch because it's around, I guess 1:30, 2 o'clock now. And I think after this I'll go out onto the waves. So it's around 5 o'clock. It's absolutely gorgeous out here. The sun has been beating down all day, but the waters up here in Massachusetts are usually year-round cold. So it was kind of refreshing to get out of the heat and go swimming and all this fun stuff. I have my little tent set up so I didn't get burned too badly. I think just really in my face, though I did put on suntan lotion twice. So I think that's what contributed to my not burning. I really hope you enjoyed this trip to Revere with me. It's not too far away from my home. It's really one of the main beaches I go to, and I really love it here. And I hope you enjoyed the Sandcastle Festival. And like I said, it's every year, and we were just really lucky to find out about it. I have to say thank you to Daisy, who I work with, because she lives around here, and she was like, oh, just so you know, the Sandcastle Festival is happening this weekend, because otherwise I wouldn't have known. So big shout out to Daisy, thank you. And so if you like this video, the best way you can help me is to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. As I've said before, I'd really love to monetize this. I'd love to do this as kind of like, you know, maybe a full-time kind of thing, where I travel and I just show you guys fun things around New England or maybe elsewhere. Also, if you have any suggestions of other places I should go, please let me know in the comments below. I really appreciate it. Thank you again so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.